What's up everyone, welcome to Akuma's Arsenal, and today we're going to be talking about this thing I wrote in response to this guy's question. So this guy just asks, a super duper general question, says, "Good morning gentry, any vintage pros that could help a newbie out with some questions? Thanks in advance, Beast Market." And people just giving some random stuff about vintage watches, right? And someone tags me here, right? So first of all, I'm not a vintage pro. Psst. I'm not a vintage pro. I like learning about vintage watches, but I'm not a pro. Trust me, I'm not a pro. So then I ask him, "Hey, what's your question?" But then you know what? Let's just go into it. What would be my general advice to someone who just wants to get into vintage watches? That's what we're discussing today. So this is what I wrote. Getting into vintage watches simply starts with a good question. For example, what are some dope Japanese watches under $300? Then I usually go to eBay and look. Maybe I'll find a Seiko Bellmatic that's in my price range. Then I'll try to find a list of vintage Seiko watches. Here's some. 6117, 6139, King Seiko 7002. Just type in Seiko in these letters. The most important thing for me is finding the watch/model. From there, pick one and look for information regarding the authenticity. After that, I find a good listing/seller and boom. Some bonuses. Learn about the history of the watch. For example, King Seiko competed with Grand Seiko for the Seiko high-end. The two duked it out. Guess who won? Or you could do it the other way around. Let's say I'm a history buff into war German politics. Find some German brand that existed around that time and hunt for info. So I laid out the two general ways that I find vintage watches. So I start with a question, figure out what my price range is, find a subcategory, and then refine that until I can find a model, and then from there I just search and see what I can find, right? Another way is I go era, right? Like let's say 1960s. I do a bunch of research on things that happened in the 1960s. So, for example, with the Rolex Explorer video, well, this is more 50s, but let's say I'm talking 50s. In the Rolex Explorer video, I learned about that the Rolex Bumbleback was, the watch from around like the late 40s and the early 50s. So I'm like, oh, Rolex Bumbleback, right? So that's you do your research, and then from there, because if you're looking for some one-off kind of rare thing, you might never find a watch that fits within a certain era, right? Or fits exactly what you want, but you might be able to find something else. For example, I am thinking about selling my Sarb 033. I'm not even thinking. I'm posting an eBay listing and selling my Sarb 033. If you're interested, there'll be a link in the description if you guys want to purchase it. I appreciate it a lot. Because I found this Seiko, I'm not going to say anything more, but I found a Seiko that's around the same price as a Sarb 033, and it's a bang. Right? At least something that I very, very much appreciate. And how did I find it? Well, a friend sent me it. But anyway, how do I usually find my vintage watches? Well, I just start off super simple. When you're getting into vintage, the hard thing is just finding the question. That's the hard part, right? Or just getting a start. That's the hard part. So let's say you watch one of my videos and you find, vintage. Or let's say you watch one of the watch collection videos that I posted, and you go, "Oh, Kaoshou has a King Seiko, right? King Seiko, wow, that's really, really cool. I want to look at some King Seikos." So you type in King Seiko, maybe you find some of the models, and then from there you go onto the forums and just see like what people are saying about the King Seiko. Maybe you ask Kaoshou, like, "Hey, can I get some info about your King Seiko?" I'm just saying, like, you might not be able to do that, but you do your research. Well, first things first, you gotta figure out. You can just go there and just learn about the watch, which is what I do a lot of, because I don't have a lot of money to spend on watches right now. So I do a lot of learning about watches, but I never get to purchase them, and that's something I want to change, so I can start handling all these vintage watches that I find. So, but what I'm saying is, it's that process of finding a question, refining until you can find that watch that's right for you. It's a combination of kind of academic kind of research, and then combine that with actually finding the right watch. It's those two things combined, and that's how you find a dope vintage watch. I've actually been thinking about putting together a service called Akuma's Watch Consulting, where complete noobs, people who don't even want to learn about watches, or maybe people who do, come to me and ask me, hey, I have a certain price range, I want to find a vintage watch, like, can you help me out? And they lay out I ask them some questions, and I find that right watch for them, or maybe they're trying to find the watch for someone else. That's something that I'm working on. I'm actually working on a website as we speak. It should be in the works up relatively soon. So what I'm thinking about doing for myself, so I can start to handle more of these vintage watches, because a lot of these are not very expensive. The vintage watches that I find are not even, the most expensive ones are like $5K, right? And the least expensive ones are like $20. So if I just build up a nice kind of reserve of cash, sell on eBay, buy on eBay, build up eBay points, make money maybe off ads or maybe from like an opportunity or ads or something, and I get the money together and I buy a watch or something. Once I buy that, I can handle it, and if I like it, I can sell it, right? Because I feel like eBay is a really, really, really critical place if you're a watch collector, for you to sell your watches, for you to purchase your watches. And for me, I have the opportunity to sell my watches maybe a little bit quicker because I do have a YouTube channel, and that way I can get more watches in. I can sell the watches out, I can maybe find some cool stuff, so I get to handle more stuff, I get to learn more, and I relay it back to you guys, right? So you guys can get your, some of your information about, whatever watch I'm handling and getting interested. Kind of like what TGV does, but with my tastes, and my tastes are very, very different than TGV's or in any of the other watch people on YouTube. As a matter of fact, a lot of the collections that people send me, they're unique as hell. They're stuff that I've never seen before. Somebody sent me their collection. I'm actually gonna make a video about it either today or tomorrow. It had a whole bunch of cool like vintage Belovas and some other stuff, and I feel like my viewers, at least the ones who send me their collections, have really, really, really cool, interesting collections, and that's another way that I've been learning about vintage watches, because when people send me their collections, sometimes it's stuff that, the Belova Accutron has a vintage Belova Accutron, his collection. And I'm aware of TGV's video about the Belova, the Space View, or whatever it's called, that he likes, the one that he finds. But after just doing a little dive into Belova Accutrons, I found that, holy crap, you can buy these for like $10, $15, $20, maybe $30, including shipping. A vintage Belova Accutron that works, a Belova Accutron that works, that has kind of has the same kind of aesthetic as my Longines. That's crazy, and that's something that's easily within my price range. And if I stack up some dough, let's say I sell a few of my watches, like the Sarb I'm gonna sell probably. I might sell the Longines, maybe. Maybe I'll get in contact with some eBay sellers and see if I can't handle some of their watches without having to buy them. Help them do some advertising and get the watches so you guys can see them. Yeah, build up a nice little reserve of cash, get some more vintage watches in, see if I want to add them to the collection. If not, I sell them. Either way, you guys get a video out of it. I get to handle a cool watch, so that's always cool. So this video kind of turned into a vintage watch kind of thing, what's that, and then kind of also future of the channel kind of stuff, because these vintage watches that I'm finding are very, very, very low key. They are not things that the average watch collector really knows about, or at least I never knew about for a very, very long time. Just really, really diving deep in all these little kind of weird little niches of watchmaking or watch collecting. And eBay is a great place to search. Amazing place to search. Yeah, guys, just stay tuned for the vintage watches that are coming my way. I hope this helped you guys out finding vintage watches that are right for you. And once again, I'll just reiterate what I was saying. Start off with a good question, and then figure out how to phrase that into eBay or Google. For example, you want to look at vintage Seikos, just go up, hey, vintage Seiko. Look on eBay. Look at all the different models of vintage Seikos you can find. Copy and paste the names of those things into Google. Look at pictures, look at the forums, hit them up, read, learn, and just enjoy the process of finding a wonderful, vintage, beautiful watch. Thank you very, very, very much for watching, and and by the way, I've been wearing I watched this guy's video, I forgot his name, but I'll leave it, I think Eric Yoon, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. He had a beautiful, beautiful vintage Timex, and I just decided to put mine on that. TGV actually gave me this, by the way. Very, very, very lovely. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video, and Akuma out.